Let's Play.
Welcome back, viewers, to another episode of Let's Play Sacred 2 with me, Schmoopy McGoopermutter, your host, as always. Okay, so that's not my real name, but neither is Bezlonir. We have to go up this hill. We are in, not El Dorag, I made that mistake last time. We are in Corum. Well, it's a good thing that Mr. Deck did not move into this town and become the mayor and then become the celebrated hero of the town, so that they decided to amend his name to the town, and then the town would become Decorum, which would be rather strange for a barbaric town out in the middle of the mizzle of the desert. The thing about recording your voice parts is that in normal life when you're speaking, and you'll notice this if you've ever tried to record yourself singing or anything like that, and it's especially bad then. But, normally you stumble over words and things like that all the time, and you don't even realize it. But then when you record it and you listen back, you're like, well, I thought I said that, and I sounded like I knew what I was saying and confident and everything, and then you listen to it back, and it's like, you know what, I don't trust Barack Obama as president, because that man don't be up on the hill and he say whatever he want to say, man. That dang old man, he guy just run out, man, and just gonna peanut bigger than me, man. I don't like that man. That dang old man can't have no man power peanut bigger than mine, man. I don't like that man. Man, dang old. Where do we need to go now? Oh, okay, I know this part. I was wondering if we were before this part or after this part. Was this before or after the part where you stuck a tennis ball up his butt? I don't know. I'm not even really being funny right now. I'm just saying random things. You know, it's like a certain kind of funny, like you think, like this is funny when you're like kind of young. It's sort of like Mad Libs humor, but you're just like, Poopy McFartface. Haha. I said a random. Ergo, I are funny. By the way, Poopy McFartface, trademarked. Don't even try it, suckers. I got that on lock. I am going to, so in other news, Poopy McFartface t-shirts go on sale next week. Get them now while they're still hot. Get them now before they run out. They are the new hot thing of the season. You don't want to be the only person in your group of friends without a Poopy McFartface t-shirt. Thank you. Just letting you know, it's just a public service announcement. I don't want you to feel like you got egg on your face because you don't have a Poopy McFartface t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking after your own best interests here. That's all I'm doing. Oh, so I put on my poison relics because I felt like I was fighting more of these guys than anything else. These scorpions and stuff like that do poison damage. Also, in the meantime, we made level 35, so I decided to get perception. I think right now, I don't think I put any points in perception. Blah. Unfortunately, I didn't get the skill points that I was talking about to be able to mod any Stormite or Delphic Arcania. See, there's something I totally swallowed those consonants. Delphic Arcania, because when I made level 35, as it turned out, I only had one hard point in writing, and I needed to have 5 so that I could take perception. I felt like I didn't want to wait until 50 to take perception, and it was my plan to take perception. So the other skills that I want to take would be ancient magic, and I'm not really sure, possibly spell resistance. Although I have this expulse magic that might help me out, I may not need spell resistance. So it might be nice to wait till a later point to see about that, because I could use bargaining. Normally I prefer perception to bargaining, because I just like, in order to use bargaining, you're like sitting in town for hours, using the warp over and over again to refresh the vendors, and that's not really fun. To me, you know, it feels like all that time you could have spent like fighting mobs and stuff, and that's what I'd rather do. The only problem is for some characters, if you have class-specific items and things like that, they can be hard. They don't drop often, like the Dryad's blowpipes. But one thing to note, that if you do get perception at a high level, you can't you can't find set pieces or anything. I mean, not perception. You can with that. Bargaining. If you get bargaining at a high level, you can't find set pieces, and I don't think you can find legendaries. I'm not sure about uniques. Uniques are like what would be 3-star items on the PlayStation. Here they're represented by like an orange color. I have not really got a legendary except on the PlayStation, and what this is if you look up, for instance, on the wiki, your class quest. Now your class quest will take you through most of the zones, and it's pretty long, so it probably takes you an hour, like a couple of hours at least, to get through, depending on how high in level your character is, because like once you're high in level, you like have enough skills that you can kind of get through things faster, and you have waypoints and stuff. So if you do it like when you're already through most of your campaign, it's faster. But my point is that you will get a legendary item. You'll get the same one every time, specific to the class quest, but the quality of the modifiers will be better if the higher the difficulty you do it on, and the level of the item will be based on your level and the difficulty that you're in. Okay, so these things do... there's no such thing as lightning damage in this game. I think lightning is physical and magic. In this game, there's only 2 types of damage. No, my bad. I think 4 types. Poison, physical, ice, and... No, so there's 5. Poison, physical, ice, fire, and magic. That sounds like a poorly conceived R&B group. Coming to a stadium near you. Poison, ice, physical, fire, and magic. The classic sounds you know and love. Poison, physical, ice, fire, and magic. What are you gonna do when we get to you? It's kinda tragic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so sometimes I make a song up off the top of my head. I had if I was in a rock band, the song that I would like to do, I had never... Okay, so here's a 3-star one here we can't really use because we're not melee, but this is a good example. I think we've found some before. Oh, that's pretty good. I might want to use that if I have a melee character, but I don't really like playing melee characters on the PC, I think. Maybe I should give it a try. But I first heard this song when I was working at King Soopers, because they played it overnight, and that's the grocery store here. You may know it as Kroger in other areas of the country, or if you don't live in the U.S., it's just a grocery store. Now, the song is... What is it? I forget the guy's name, but it's Sundown, you better take care. Oh, gosh. And it's like, what's that part? It's like, sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better, but I'm feeling no pain. You know? Anyway, so I wanted to do like, so now we have to fight these guys. He's like the prince's envoy. And the prince, if you play the dark side, you'll be rooting for the prince. Now we have to go back to Quorum, I think. Yeah. So I wanted to do a metal version of that, you know? Or like, well, what I should say is I was like making up a metal version when I was driving in my car a few days when they were playing that on the radio a lot. I'm so aggravated because I know the name of that. It's not a band, it's a guy, but he's like, it's one of those ones where the band is the guy, but the, you know, obviously there's other people because nobody can... I mean, you can record all the parts yourself, but if you go to play in front of an audience, it's like impossible to play all the instruments at once, and it's kind of a dick move. I don't know. You're just like, I'm too good and I don't trust anybody else. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know, I think a metal version of that song would be pretty cool. Like, I'm not going to try to do metal right now because it's very late at night. There's other people trying to sleep in this house. And actually I just got a new microphone, so I'm hoping that it actually will pick up my voice and the levels will be okay. But if I start screaming, as always, it will probably overdrive my microphone. And it'll sound like a bunch of garbled gobbledygook. And I need to go back and talk to him again. I'm not scoring any points for paying attention. By the way, I wouldn't really say that I...
The quest compass has led you to your target.
Indeed.
A giant scorpion.
That's
How
literally
disgusting.
quite true. So now he's pointing us towards the boss of this area. Hopefully we'll be able to beat that guy okay. I lost my train of thought. Choo-choo! Your train of thought has departed the station. Destination unknown. It's just a giant train wreck. Wasn't Charles Dickens in like 2 different train wrecks? But I know he was like, I swear he was in like one major train wreck and it like changed his life. He was like, I'm gonna do things differently now. And then he made like a lot of money. And I think like a lot of people, I think he might have lost his money when he was old and he like bought too much crack. And they were like, what is this crack? And he's like, I'm not gonna share it with anybody. And it was like, so like 100 years passed before anybody like rediscovered crack again. They were like opened up a signed authored edition. Like they're sitting there in the CIA headquarters, right? And they're like, oh, I'm taking a break. I'm going to open up this copy of A Tale of Two Cities. And then it's like a signed first edition copy of Tale of Two Cities. So the CIA agent opens it up and like, oh, what's this? Why, a pouch doth appear to have fallen out of this copy of A Tale of Two Cities. And so, like, the little crack pouch just falls out, and it's like, all of a sudden, they're like, holy shit, Charles Dickens invented crack! So I think we found the title of this video. This is pretty fun, when you pop your invisibility and, like, the enemies just stand around like idiots while you just beat on them. Don't mind me, I'm just killing you. So, oh yeah, I was saying about this build. It's this whole thing, like, the thing about this build, oh, I kind of looked it up on the wiki again, right? That was the basis of this build. But the thing about that is that was a long time ago and I haven't gotten back to it. And it's not really like, so I've been kind of just going off the cuff with it. Don't be surprised if we don't wind up as strong as we might. And the thing is, like, pretty much, basically, wow, we almost died there. So that doesn't bode well for the boss, because he's basically the same thing, but probably does a lot more damage. Okay, let me think. Okay, yeah, we can go this way, I think. But I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, so it's been a long time since I looked at that, and it wasn't really one of those power builds. It was, the guy who posted the build, he described it as sort of like a Metal Gear Solid type of stealth character, because what we have right now is invisibility, and then we have another spell that once I mod it, actually it's Shadow Step, I think. Once I mod that, I'll get some invisibility as well. Of course, we'll always be running with pretty high damage, but we're not going to just be able to sit there in everything's face and tank it out like we could on some characters. Actually, the Nature Weaver Dryad is kind of like that. The thing about the Nature Weaver Dryad, and I've showcased this before in a couple of different builds, and the Nature Weaver part is always pretty similar, It's very, very strong defensively, except against fire, because it gives you a lot of physical armor. It works well with armor war also, and you get Golden Blade Touch. God dang it, rock stars. Golden Blade Touch. Golden Blade Touch gives you health regen equal to like basically your max HP a second, and boosts your magic defense through the roof. So it's an interesting spellcaster that you can pretty much kill anything with. I think my only problem when I was running my caster Nature Weaver was that I hadn't invested enough points into the offensive side yet. So she was a real slow leveler. And she's also, so far as to how far I had gotten her, she was kind of getting a lot of her damage from, what is it called? Malicious Voodoo, I think. And that's cool and all, but I sank so many more points into Nature Weaver. It's just that the thing about the Nature Weaver spell like group and everything is that well, you can mod the Tangled Vine spell to try to do damage. I don't know if it's any good that way, but in my feeling is that it's better usefulness is to mod it for a nice long-lasting AoE route, which helps helps with some good crowd control. It does do a little bit of damage, but not too significant. The other thing that you have is Edophic Lances, but it's really slow, so it's hard to hit things with it. It's very good for bosses because you can tangle them, and the thing is, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like this ice, the glacial thorns on this character, in that for weaker mobs it can be overkill. The difference is you can't make it spread out. It always goes in a straight line, but it'll hit everything in that line. It's still not as good as the Wood Elf, the magic Wood Elf's Thorn Bush from the original Sacred, which was so amazing that when I was playing the magic Wood Elf, I could basically kill everything with that one spell almost all the time. The thing about it was a really slow moving like missile sort of that would hit enemies as long as they were inside of this globe, and they typically got hit 2 or 3 times really hard, which would kill most normal mobs. And then on top of that, if an enemy shot it, then it would explode in like a pretty big poison cloud, which would basically kill an entire group of archers anytime you encountered them. So with a little practice, like, you could get to the point where you really just killed everything with that by itself. I kind of wish I had done a video highlighting that. I know I was going to do like a side quest video to show some of the other characters, so I may still do that. In fact, I may do it soon. I don't know if anybody's interested in Sacred 1 stuff or not, but I don't know. If they are, then I guess I'll put something together. I think we are pretty much at the doorstep of the boss for this zone, and I'm hoping that it goes alright.
My target must be close.
Oh, man. No, I'm not going to bring him back to the village. That's pretty nice when you, like, you're at the boss, almost, and then you reach this NPC that wants you to take them. Pardon me, can you take me all the way back where you came from? Nah, you gon' die. Nah, you gon' die. You said, I ain't taking you all the way back there. You know? Like, firstly, okay. We have 2 options here. I can either take you back immediately, like you want, and that's gonna involve me going way out of my way, or we can bring you along while we fight the boss, and perhaps you can imagine how it's going to work out for you. Ask Wilbur from Sacred 1. He was all, I'm fine. He was, yeah, anyway, I don't think we can kill this thing. Oh, okay. I was like, I couldn't target it. Whatever. Screw you. It's a trap! If I was, like, not lazy, I could insert Admiral Akbar there. It's a trap, but why would I do that? I don't do inserting video clips. And it's, I guess it's a little unwise to do so, because you could wind up, see. Here is where it's a little nicer on the PS3, because you don't, like I think I said in the video where I did, where I reviewed some different builds in the PS3 version of Sacred 2, like, you don't have to play inventory Tetris there. So as you can see, I have a ton of free space in my inventory, but since everything's disorganized, it's just taking up a lot of space, which means here I am on camera having to do this. I could just
I'm surprised to find something that
salvage
rare.
it all, but I don't have that much money yet. When I get like up to like 10 million, I'll just start salvaging almost everything. But I'm saving yellows and two-handed blues for now because they're worth a lot of gold, which I could still use some of. See, like for instance, that carved longbow is going to be quite heavy. Alright, since there's, well, I was about to say, since there's no enemies, this is a good time to end this video. Alright, so we'll kill that guy. And then I think I'll end this video. So this is Bezlonir signing out of another episode of Let's Play Sacred 2 for the PC. I almost said PS3, but it's not the PS3, it's the PC. So, thanks for joining me, viewers, and I will see you next slime.